Hello and welcome to another episode of the Tejano Traveler Adventures. We are finally in Houston, and where we are stopping at first is Johnson Space Center, otherwise known as NASA. It's one of my favorite places to go. I love looking at all the space age stuff. Once you enter to the Great Hall, you'll see a lot of the capsules and a lot of what you've come to expect from NASA, a lot of satellites and a lot of capsules, a lot of astronaut stuff. But what you should do first is head straight to the trolley so that you can get on and head on over to the Saturn Rockets. The Saturn Rockets are on the other side of the complex. You'll go underneath the tunnel and it'll take you over to the warehouse where they keep this Saturn 5 rocket. It's a lot bigger than what you think it is, which is amazing once you actually get inside. But outside you'll see a couple of rockets that you can look at. I myself like fat rockets, not the thin ones. You'll see what is involved in making a rocket. And these rockets are just like an introduction to what you're actually going to see inside, and once you actually get inside the air-conditioned warehouse, you will be amazed at how huge the Saturn rocket actually is. I mean, look at that. Laying on its side, it's amazing to look at. I mean, you can see the big, huge thrusters, how each section is divided. As it blasts off into the sky, it'll unload the parts that it doesn't use anymore until finally it's at its last stage, and you can see all the little tubes and spheres and everything involved in what the actual rocket is. And there's the last section, and there's a capsule right there. That's all. Everything else is just to get you up there, and then they have that tiny little capsule where the human beings actually are. I mean, once you look at it, how tiny it is as compared to the rest of the rocket, you'd be amazed at how they decided to do all this. Like, what thinking process went into it. And there's some of the returning astronauts, a celebration of them. But I mean, it's huge. I like how they have it separated into its individual components. That way you can see what gets left behind and falls back into the ocean. And just the type of engineering it would take to manufacture these huge rocket thrusters. All the gas involved, all the chemicals, all the alloys, everything. After you visit the Saturn Rockets, you can head over and look at the space shuttle. I wish it was a bit better decked out as to what it actually looks like, but here's the airplane that carries the shuttle from place to place. As you can see, they piggyback one on top of the other. They have great exhibits though. A lot to read, a lot to go through, a lot to learn. Every single question you probably had about space travel is answered here. This is what the inside of the shuttle looks like. There are the reflecting panels. It's just a big old empty warehouse that flies, I guess, and there's a space toilet. I like space toilets. And you get to see what the control deck looks like. I mean, I'd be completely lost. And I'm sure every single panel, every single button serves its purpose. And this is a robotic automatron that is going to help people fly in space in the future, apparently, or take over us. Once you go back in the main building, you can take a look at some of the old capsules that they used to have and how cramped some of the quarters were. There was a famous spinning man in 0G as to what shows you what the inside of a space capsule looks like. Although I think this one is a bit too big to actually be it. But there's people showering and floating. Gives you an idea of what space travel would be like. And then there's a moon exhibit. They have the old buggies and the people walking out into the moon. More space capsules. And more space capsules. As you can see, that's what NASA is. A bunch of space capsules, spaceships, rockets. And they have this really cool model of the moon that lights up from, I guess, the inside. You can walk around it and see all the craters and all the wonderful stuff. To me, it looks like a Death Star from far away. But you can see how perfectly round it is and what an awesome moon mistress we have. Anyways, hope you like it. Hope you visit NASA and checkmate, flat earthers. Ah, ha ha ha. See me next time.